ultimately, the buyer is actually the one paying for the commissions. And you said, no, they're not, Brad. The seller pays the commissions. Hey guys, it's Brad from probatehouseguy.com. So I'm a real estate investor. I specialize in the world of probate and inheritance properties. I actually have a really unique way of obtaining probate and inheritance leads and deals all across the country that's very different than the traditional way how most people get their leads and deals. So if you're interested in working with us, maybe becoming one of our preferred partners, you can go to probatehouseguy.com and be happy to have a conversation with you. Just fill out the form there on the site. We'll be in touch with you. So I want to give my take on the whole National Association of Realtors lawsuit regarding commissions and all the things. The headlines were in the past week, and me being in the real estate business, I'm a licensed real estate agent in Georgia, and I'm a full-time investor. I say I'm not a practicing agent because most of the time I'm just doing investment deals. I do some listings here and there, but for the most part, I focus on just buying properties. I buy properties. I buy them to rent, buy them to flip, you name it. I do owner financing, seller financing kind of stuff, creative financing. I do all that kind of stuff, right? But I'm in the real estate business. So this is sort of a big thing. And my take on it is that I think pretty soon this is going to basically become a big nothing burger, as some people call it, right? And why do I say that? Okay, for as long as time's gone on, ultimately, the buyer is actually the one paying for the commissions. And you said, no, they're not, Brad. The seller pays the commissions. It's on the seller side of the HUD. It comes out of the seller side, and the seller's sharing the commissions. Yeah, but the buyer is bringing money to the table to buy the house. So a house is advertised for $200,000. Who is wiring $200,000 to the closing to buy this house? The buyer is, or the buyer's lender. In most cases, probably 70% of the time, people are getting a loan on a house through a mortgage. So the lender is wiring either all or some of or most of the money to the table, right? But ultimately, the buyer is buying that, and these commissions are baked into the price of the house. Now, does it come out of the seller's side of the settlement statement from the ALTA or the HUD or whatever you want to call it? Yes, it does, and then the broker shares it. But ultimately, the buyer is bringing the money to the table anyways. And for as long as I can remember, the lender is wiring the money there, and the buyer is bringing a little bit of money, right? And ultimately, they're bringing the money to pay for that. So all I think, and this is just my take on this, and take it what you will, right? This is just my opinion, take it for what it's worth, right? I think what's going to happen, and actually I read somewhere the other day that this is actually going to come out maybe this week. I don't remember where I read that or who said that, but I read that this week, I think that FHA or HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, the Department of Veterans Affairs, the VA, and Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, although Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac aren't technically government agencies, they really are. They're going to release some statement or guidelines, I think, here very, very soon in the wake of this lawsuit. And they're going to basically release some guidelines and say, hey, we will allow buyers to roll their agents' commissions into their loan or into their mortgage. We will cover it. Remember, they were already doing that indirectly anyways, right? Now it's going to be a line item on the settlement statement, buyer's agent commission, and they're going to allow them to roll this into the loan and finance the commissions, right? Remember, they were already doing this anyways. So from a lender standpoint, there's no change to them. We're just changing the accounting and moving that line item from one side of the ALTA or the HUD to the other. That's all we're doing. That's what I think is going to happen. And then once the government-sponsored entities publish that information, then all of these sort of private entities, the non-conforming, the jumbos and all this stuff that are, sold, the notes are sold on kind of on the secondary market. All of those lenders and originators are going to follow suit shortly thereafter. And before you know it, all of them are going to allow buyers' agents' commissions to be rolled into the loan. Because people are going to still need buyer's agency representation, right? Now, as the world and the landscape changed in the real estate market from a buyer's agency perspective, yes, do buyers still need protection from an agent? Yeah, I think so. In all cases, do they need a buyer's agent? I don't think so, right? But is it a good idea? Yes, it's a good idea, right? Can you do things on your own? Sure. Will there always be DIYers that want to do things themselves? Absolutely, right? That's why there's still FSBOs exist to this day. Is it a better idea to sell a house to a real estate agent than sell it FSBO? Most cases, yes. Do people still do it on their own? Yes. Are you going to talk sense in them to not do it on their own? Probably not. If someone's a DIYer and they want to do it themselves, they're going to do it themselves, right? You're not going to stop them, right? So all that this is going to do is just enable them to roll the commissions into the loan. And then at the end of the day, it's all going to be back to where it was. Now, what might happen to prices? Well, typically because it was always baked in the price, the sellers are going to net a little bit more money for a short period of time, but then prices are going to kind of stabilize and absorb that 3% into prices, right? It's just going to sort of absorb and work its way out. And I think in 6 months or 12 months, this is all going to be a big nothing burger, and it's not going to matter anyways, and it's going to be BAU. Are some buyers agents going to bow out of the game? Yeah. The tricky part with this, though, I think, is when it comes to the antitrust piece and setting a buyer's agent's commissions. I think that the lenders are going to allow a certain percentage of commissions to be rolled into the loan. And if the buyer wants to pay more commissions on top of that, they have to pay for those out of pocket. Now, that might create some legal concerns, and I'm not an attorney, and I'm not going to get into all that, but that's what I think is going to happen. That's just my take on it. So, hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. I am Brad with probatehouseguy.com. Like I mentioned, I'm a probate and inheritance specialist. That's what I do. I'm a full-time investor. I buy houses, specifically probate and inheritance properties. I actually have a whole website and brand on how I get all of these leads. I'm looking for trusted partners to work with all over the country, whether you're an investor or you're another real estate agent. I'm typically picking 1 or 2 people per market, and you're my trusted partner. When I get a lead in your specific market, I'm going to go to you with that lead rather than someone else, right? So if you are experienced in the probate world, or you want to learn how to be experienced in the probate world, working on a training course we're about to put out here very soon, where you can learn about how to be a probate specialist. Once you are that probate specialist, be happy to refer those leads to you in your specific market. So go to probatehouseguy.com. There's a contact form there on the website. Fill out that contact form. We'll be in touch with you ASAP. Thanks for checking out this video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.